I think that, to your point, vegetarian food can actually be quite good.
Yes.
If you're going to eat vegetarian, eat paneer and rice and delicious chickpeas. Do not eat this disgusting fake meat.
J.D. Vance doesn't just have a sweet tooth. He has a full-blown sugar addiction that fuels his every meal. One day, he's wiping out an entire bakery's donut supply. The next, he's drowning waffles in syrup like it's a competitive sport. Meanwhile, his wife Usha fills her plate with fresh veggies, vibrant spices, and meals that actually fuel the body. Tune in, because JD's latest over-the-top food stunt will leave you absolutely speechless. The campaign trail runs on sugar and grease, and when he's not elbow-deep in biscuit dough, he's cracking open a beer. But not just any beer, he's the kind of guy who makes a big deal about it. The I love beer kind. The kind who will absolutely remind you that he loves beer, probably more than he should. During a campaign stop, he even played bartender for Green Bay fans, but instead of a smooth photo op, it turned into an awkward confession. I actually do like to drink beer. Maybe too much. Oof. The internet took it from there, roasting him to a crisp, while the media mostly looked the other way. Because nothing says relatable guy like possibly drinking too much. But just when the jokes started to die down, a new question bubbled to the surface, one that no amount of beer could wash away. And this time, ignoring it wouldn't be an option. Now, here's the plot twist. His wife, Usha, is the exact opposite. She's all about veggies, spices, and actual nutrition. Her family's Indian, which means their kitchen is full of things JD probably couldn't pronounce at first, but over time he got into it. He brags about cooking Indian food, especially for his mother-in-law. Smart move, because keeping the in-laws happy is key. His favorites, paneer, chickpeas, and rice. Not a bad lineup, especially since Indian food actually makes vegetarian meals taste good. But let's be real, he's not giving up meat anytime soon. JD is still a meat and potatoes guy through and through. His idea of balance? Eating a hot dog in one hand while stirring a pot of lentils with the other. In 2024, he made headlines for downing fries and a hot dog like he was on a mission. Back in 2022, he even entered an eating contest at the Ohio State Fair, because what screams serious politician more than seeing how many ribs you can inhale in one sitting, and when he's not eating, he's catching his own food. That's right, fishing trips with his son. Nothing says father-son bonding like pulling fish out of the water and tossing them on a grill. Classic. J.D. Vance loves junk food. Usha Vance loves spices and veggies. Their kitchen, a battlefield of flavors. One side covered in sugar, grease, and deep-fried everything. The other, a world of spices, lentils, and greens. Who wins? Well, let's just say JD might have to sneak in his donuts when no one's looking. The daily food adventure of J.D. Vance continues beyond the obvious. His mornings aren't filled with some fancy health shake or a balanced meal. No, he's kicking off the day with something covered in sugar. Pancakes drowning in syrup, cinnamon rolls baked the night before, or a stack of waffles topped with whipped cream and chocolate chips. Breakfast is a dessert buffet. And let's not pretend he's pairing that with some freshly squeezed juice. Coffee laced with way too much cream and sugar is the real star of the morning. Lunch? That's where things get interesting. When he's not on the campaign trail or stuck in a meeting, he's indulging in the kind of food that makes a dietitian cry. Think burgers dripping with grease, loaded fries that are more cheese than potato, and sandwiches piled so high they defy gravity. If it's messy, fried, or drowning in sauce, it's on his plate. And let's not forget the sides, because why stop at just a burger when you can throw in a milkshake, an order of onion rings, and a side of mac and cheese just to round things out? Meanwhile, Usha's plate looks like something out of a wellness magazine. Grilled vegetables, colorful salads, perfectly cooked grains, and probably some kind of turmeric-infused dish that promises to cure everything from bad digestion to a bad mood. Her food is fresh, vibrant, and packed with spices that make every meal an experience. It's the kind of food that fuels a person rather than just stuffing them full, and while JD might sneak a bite or two, he's never going to swap his plate for hers. Dinner is where the real battle begins. JD's ultimate comfort meal is a huge steak with mashed potatoes drenched in butter and maybe a pile of crispy bacon on the side. He's all about big portions and bold flavors. while Usha is working her magic in the kitchen with lentils, greens, and aromatic spices that make their entire house smell incredible. He won't admit it out loud, but he's actually starting to enjoy the food she makes. Sure, he's never giving up meat, but a well-seasoned veggie dish? He won't say no.
Fast food, spices, and a battle in the kitchen. And let's talk about eggs, because for some reason, eggs have been a weirdly controversial part of his political career. At one point, he complained about eggs being too expensive, only to get dragged for getting the price wrong. Then he made an even weirder comment. He claimed his kids eat 14 eggs every morning. 14. That's a dozen plus 2. Naturally, people online took him literally and roasted him for it. Either he was exaggerating or his children are training to become professional bodybuilders. Campaigning across the country means eating on the go, and he has embraced that part of political life. He's been spotted having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at random diners, fast food spots, and local joints with his wife and kids in tow. Sometimes he even buys food for voters, like when he treated people to root beer floats at an A&W in Michigan. It's all about the optics. You want people to think you're just a regular guy who loves greasy food, not a career politician who eats catered meals in private jets. Now onto the good stuff. He has strong opinions about fake meat, and he's not afraid to share them. During an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, he straight up told vegetarians to stay away from processed meat substitutes, calling them disgusting. Instead, he sticks to real food, legumes, nuts, and all the protein-packed goodness that Indian cuisine has to offer. If he's going to eat vegetarian, he's going to do it the right way, not with some lab-created Frankenmeat. His food habits reveal more than just his preferences. They paint a picture of a man deeply attached to his cultural upbringing, yet open to adopting new traditions through family connections. Whether he's gorging on ribs at the state fair, baking desserts like a pastry chef in training, or trying to master the complexities of Indian cooking, his meals tell a larger story about his identity and public image. This man's diet is a wild mix of sugar highs, protein-packed vegetarian meals, and beer-fueled campaign stops. From Cracker Barrel nostalgia to a surprising love for vegetarian food, Vance knows what he likes. And if you ever catch him on the campaign trail, odds are he'll be stuffing his face with something interesting. Whether it's fast food or a homemade batch of scones, one thing's for sure, this guy is always eating. But what does all of this say about him? Maybe he's just a guy who genuinely loves food. Or maybe he's carefully curating an image of an approachable, everyday American who bakes biscuits and eats ribs at state fairs. Politics is all about branding. And what better way to make yourself relatable than by talking about what's on your plate? Whether it's a calculated move or just genuine love for comfort food, J.D. Vance's diet has become part of his public. Love him or hate him, the man knows how to eat. Usha, on the other hand, had an entirely different experience. Raised by Indian immigrants in California, she grew up on carefully spiced dals, fresh vegetables, and rice cooked to perfection. For her, food was more than just sustenance. It was tradition, culture, and a connection to family. Every meal was an art form, bursting with flavors J.D. had never even heard of, let alone tasted. When these two met at Yale Law School, their culinary worlds clashed. J.D.'s attempts to cook vegetarian for Usha were, to put it nicely, tragic. One time, he thought he was whipping up a great veggie pizza, except it was just crescent roll dough topped with raw broccoli and ranch dressing. The result? A disaster so bad it could have ended their relationship right there. But instead of running, Usha laughed it off and slowly but surely started introducing JD to her world of food. One bite changed JD's mind. His taste would never be the same. The meal that shattered JD's world. JD, to his credit, didn't just accept defeat, he decided to learn. He stood in Usha's family kitchen, watching her mother work magic with spices he couldn't even pronounce. He realized Indian food wasn't just about throwing ingredients together. It was a careful balance of flavors, a process that took skill and patience. And while JD wasn't about to give up his steak dinners, he started seeing food in a whole new way. Their kitchen became a battlefield of flavors, with Appalachian staples meeting Indian spices in ways that shouldn't have worked, but somehow did. They started hosting friends and family, showing off their blended menu: paneer tikka alongside cornbread, spiced chickpeas next to mashed potatoes. It wasn't just about food, It was about building a bridge between two backgrounds that seemed incompatible at first glance. Their food journey even influenced how they raised their kids. Instead of forcing them to choose between Appalachian and Indian food, they gave them both. One night, they'd have a Southern-style potluck. The next, a full Indian spread. Their kids weren't just eating meals. They were learning about their parents' roots with every bite. This story isn't just about food. It's about how relationships work. It's about compromise, learning, and stepping outside your comfort zone. JD could have stuck to his old eating habits, and Usha could have refused to budge on hers. But instead, they found a way to make it work. And in doing so, they didn't just create meals, they created a home where both of their cultures had a place at the table. Their journey proves that food isn't just about what's on the plate. It's about connection, understanding, and sometimes admitting that your first attempt at vegetarian pizza was a complete disaster. But at least he tried. Meanwhile, Usha has embraced aspects of JD's food culture in a way that respects her vegetarian roots. She found ways to keep the flavors of the dishes he loves intact while making them her own. She experimented with smoky flavors in beans and lentils to mimic the deep satisfaction JD got from meat-heavy dishes. Their shared meals are a constant push and pull, one discovering, one modifying, both appreciating. JD's appreciation for Indian food didn't just stay within their home. When dining out, he started gravitating toward the dishes he once would have ignored. He began critiquing restaurant curries with a level of confidence that surprised even him. He stopped settling for bland flavors, realizing that even the simplest meals could be enhanced with the right spices. Their kids have benefited the most from this blending of cultures. They've grown up knowing the best of both worlds. They crave spicy dal just as much as they love a stack of fluffy pancakes. They know the smell of ghee as well as they know the scent of sizzling bacon. In their home, food is not a debate, it's an exploration. Does JD and Usha Vance's food dynamic reveal their true selves? Or is it just another act in the political theater? Share your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe for more stories that make you question everything.